Hey everybody, Skyler from Erie Creek Tackle. It is finally spring here in Southern Ontario, and one of our favorite things to do when it comes to spring is do some pan fishing, and more particularly crappie fishing. And in the last little bit, been bringing in a lot of crappie and panfish related baits, and the more specific one is the Garland Baby Shads and the Moglos and the originals. So you see here, that would probably be my favorite color right there. That's Ghastly Minnow. I absolutely love that one. We've got Devil's Grin. There's a Monkey Milk. Got a few different colors available. Brought in over 100 packages of these guys, and in between doing this video, probably now up to 30, 40 of them sold. They go super fast. If you know about these baits, you know. If you don't know, you should know. So let's go over how I like to rig these to help you get on some crappie. So my first rig of choice, especially in the beginning of spring, is a slip float rig. This is my favorite way, and I mean, who doesn't love watching a float go down, especially when it comes to crappie fishing. So here we have, we'll start off with a float. We've got the Raven SX 2.8 gram floats. Now these are a steelhead float, but I have found that these are exceptionally well when it comes to crappie fishing for two reasons. It's a very light float when using very light gear. It is also very good at detecting those light little bites that the crappie will do sometimes. They just kind of like to slurp that bait into their mouth but then spit it back out. These let you know when that's going on. You can see everything that's going on, and it really just takes a little bit of a pull to get these guys under when they're balanced properly. Now with the 2.8 gram float, what balances them is, if I can catch it there, is a BB split shot and a 1/16 ounce jig head. And these balance right out to that white line, and that's exactly where you want them to be, floating in the water. My favorite jigs to pair up with these baby shads are the VMC Neon Moon Eyes. For one reason, they have a really good hook keeper. Keeps the plastic on real nice. You don't get like that bulky lead there. I just find like that just creates a mess of your plastics after a few fish. I can definitely catch quite a number of fish with this jig, and my plastic is still fine. Another thing too is when you're pan fishing, you can run into pike, you can run into bass, you can run into rainbow trout, you can run into almost just about anything, including, I guess, 8-pound carp like I did last spring. It just happens. These little tiny hooks have been able to hold up to everything that was a willing participant that was not a panfish. So that's another reason why I like to use them. We do have some here in stock. Got the kits, got just the 2-packs. Now they do come at a premium price, but I find it justifiable with the things that I have mentioned. Or we've also got the Northland Sink'N Jigs. Now there's nothing wrong with these jigs really other than the hook keeper. I'm not the biggest fan on them, but if you're looking for value, those are gonna be your best friend. And I mean, the paint is really good too. They got the Duracoat on there. So now the next way that I like to do it is, again, it is just a simple jig, but I don't have anything. Like I just like to run this, just a simple jig with a Garland Baby Shad on it, and run that through some cover. Sometimes if there's some light vegetation that they're kind of hanging around or just along the weed line, I will start doing that, just a simple jig. When the temperature's around 50 and those fish are actually a little more active, they're really actively feeding on getting ready to bulk up for that spawn. And then the next rig would be a drop shot. Usually like to just use a simple 1/8 ounce drop shot weight. Tungsten preferably, just for that extra sensitivity. And then I like to use a number 4, number 6 drop shot hook. Typically like to go for the number 4 size myself. And then I do a simple nose hook presentation, and that's it. When it comes to line, guys, with the slip float rig, I find mono's just the easiest and non-annoying way of going about the slip float rig, because I've used braid before, and we all know the pros to braid, but I just find there is a con with using braid on a slip float rig, and that can just be your fluoro leader knot. I always found that my slip float would just hit the leader knot, and it wouldn't actually go right up to my bobber stop. So that was kind of frustrating. That's mainly the only reason why I do use mono in that sense, just to keep that slip float rig real nice, simple, and easy to go with. I use braid on just my simple jig rig, and that's obviously for being able to cast long distance. There's no memory in there, the sensitivity, and just being able to set the hook on them just a little bit easier with that no stretch braid. And I do use a 4-pound fluorocarbon leader as well. And when it comes to the size of braid, I like to go 6-pound. I will go 8-pound if 6 isn't available. 6 is out of stock here at the shop currently, but do have 8-pound. With the drop shot, you guys can of course go with the braid and fluorocarbon leader, or you can just keep it simple and go with mono. It really comes down to personal preference in my opinion. However, we got everything, so don't hesitate to reach out and ask questions if you'd like to. Crappie is definitely a fun thing that we like to talk about here and love to engage with here. And one other thing that I like to always have on hand with me when pan fishing, I used to never really believe in it until I got this stuff in at the shop, the Liquid Mayhem. Never been a big attractant guy, scent guy. This stuff's the real deal. It's actually saved my butt crappie fishing when they're super finicky quite a number of times. Just put on a tiny little bead of this stuff. It stinks, smells like minnows and garlic, big time, but it's helped me out big time. Do stock this in the garlic minnow, the garlic crawfish, and then leech, of course. This stuff has saved my butt quite a few times. Hope you guys found this video helpful. It's the first video for the shop. Let me know if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to follow along for more tutorials or tips. We'll be doing some inventory videos in the future as well. Just let us know what you think. Follow us on Instagram. That's where you'll see all the newest stuff coming in, updated almost every single day. Yeah, that concludes the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoy. Hope you guys get some pan fishing in this spring. And I guess I'll either see you in the shop or online. Thanks, everybody. Tight lines.